So first, as you can see, we are a lot of women here. We are very happy to be here and to discuss this topic. It was really important for the Trust Valley and whole the ecosystem to have this kind of discussion with you. We want to talk about next-gen hiring meets AI because all of us are using AI right now, and cybersecurity and inclusion too. So I'm so happy to have you with me today on stage, and I will begin with you, Nathalie. It was really important for me that you accept to be with me, with all the people here, on site, because you are not, you not come from, cybersecurity. You know the tech, area, you're recruiting since a long time. You have a very good, exceptional career on it. And, thank you, for taking, place here. So we will talk first about attracting and recruiting talent, this year. And for last year also, we talk about that. So my first question is, how can a company improve its attractiveness to talent in 2024 and 2025? Yeah.
First of all, thank you so much for inviting me in this event. It's the first time for me, and I'm very happy to be with you today. In terms of recruitment, as you said, I have more than 20 years experience as recruiting talents. And I would say that the last past year have been quite challenging for companies to recruit the best talent in the market. Why? Because I think there is a discrepancy or differences between what company wants. They always want the ship with 5 legs, right? And the market and what candidate wants. And we see from COVID that candidate wants more flexibility. They want to be able to work from home. They want to work less hours. Work is not everything in their life. And I think companies haven't had adjusted to this phenomenon as for now. So there is a bit of difference, a gap between talent shortage, what candidate wants, and what companies can offer.
Okay, thank you so much. I propose to all of you to just jump in the discussion if you just want to add some things. You want to add some things?
Yeah.
It was. Let's go.
Thanks, Nathalie. I'm glad to be there as an entrepreneur, also as a recruiter, a company that look for talent. Especially as a startup, we are looking for the best talent, because we cannot afford people that are not productive the day one. So the difficulty for us is how to identify top talent without having the name of Google, because we are in competition with the big companies like Google or Microsoft or Meta, because we are in the space of AI and cybersecurity. So I agree with the point you mentioned, Nathalie. The new generations now, they want flexibility. They want a lot of things. In return, you don't know what you get from them, because they ask work from home, flexible hours, vacation, 5 weeks, 6 week vacations, a lot of things. But in return, what I get? That's the pain point we suffer right now. And I think when I started the company in 2020, just after the COVID or during COVID, you have no choice to let them work from home, because this was mandatory to work from home. But in contrary, as a startup, as I said, you need someone productive. How you measure productivity for someone that is not in the office, or even in the office? How you measure productivity? I will not answer the question now. Maybe we'll let the discussion open. But I agree with Nathalie's point is there is a lot of requests from the new generations. How a company can handle the request? We try to answer this question today.
Yes, it's definitely what we see each time right now. So in the context of talent shortage, how can companies stand out from the crowd? For you, Nathalie, please.
Yeah, I think what is important is the company culture. I just wrote an article about that, but company culture is super important, because why we want to identify ourselves with a culture, with a company. Why would I work with Najib and not about Google, for example, because I like him, because he has some values, because he can teach me something. It's small, he's human. I think people like to identify themselves with the culture of a company, and the company can improve that by by the branding of the company. So they already, most of them have branding, but employer branding is very important. How do you differentiate yourself from another competitors is very important. The message needs to be consistent. Leader needs to walk the talk. I think these things are important right now.
What do you see with the best company right now? What they are doing really good for new generation?
As I mentioned, I think the one that are on the top are the leader who walk the talk, the leader who accept that innovation can come from anyone in the company. It comes from the top. It's not a ping pong table that needs to be added in a company. It's more the values. It's more what you can offer. I think learning. People want to learn, want to progress in their career. Having work on the employability of your employee is so important, even though they will leave in a few years' time. But I think it's important that you show that you care for them, and you give them what they need to grow in your company, to help the company to grow, but outside as well.
Do you see some difference between a tech sector and other sector, health or any sector?
I think we see that companies that are in the tech sector are more innovative, obviously. Financial companies, banks, insurance are quite innovative, but banks, where it's very restricted in terms of compliance, it takes more time. I would say that.
Okay. Yes, this is the time to recruit. Yes, we will see that with Najib just after. You want to jump on it? Yes, let's go.
So since I'm coming from a bit of more academic perspective, and I was a student myself not so long ago, I think it's difficult to overestimate how important it is for companies to get in contact with students as early as possible, like proposing internships for university students, given applied projects. If company cannot fully allow to pay for internship, still I think it's always a very good investment. Sometimes there are applied schools which allow to like directly implement projects inside of the student life, and it increases a lot connection of future professionals in those recruiting, I think.
Yeah, this is a very valid point. I think it's a win-win situation for the company and for the student, because when we have students, and I'm sure you have this experience as well, you have students, they can bring their point of view, which is very different from people who are already have been working. It's fresh, it's innovative, and at the same time, you can see if the person would fit in your company, would grow. So I think it's a very good point.
To jump back on the student, because I collaborate with your school HSSO since the beginning. Just for the story, Juki start with one employee, which is me, alone. And to recruit people, I was not able to find people. So I collaborate with HSSO Valis to start to bootstrap the company with a professor, assistant, to collaborate with us, because we cannot recruit people with one man company, right? Nobody will apply to my company because I'm the only employee. So it was very good as a school to give me some virtual staff or staff as a service to bootstrap the company. And then I start with EPFL, with internship, because I see value to get very highly valuable resources, to recruit them afterwards, but also in the long term, it's investment. Even we don't keep them, maybe this person will be in a big bank or in a big pharma, and they will remember that they learn the way to work with us. So maybe they will open business, and it happened already. All the alumni from Juki is now giving business to us. So for us, I agree, the relationship should start really early stage. Even when they are young, I will say, at school, we now organize maybe 1 week for discovery for people who are 13, 14 years old to discover a startup, because we want them to be future entrepreneur. So we incubate them as a young entrepreneur to teach them how to create a startup, what is challenging and so on. So maybe these young people will be future entrepreneur, because maybe we don't know, I will be investor in the future. So I need to find the new talent And I agree with the early stage.
About the stage of maturity of the company. So in the Trust Valley, we work a lot with startup, scale up, also SMB, SMEs and large corporation. Apart from salary for you, Natalie, please, what arguments can convince an AI or crypto or tech talent to choose a scale up or startup rather than a large group?
Well, salary is, even if they say it's not important, is always important. So as I mentioned, people will consider the culture, they will consider the project, they will consider what is in it for me. I mean, what's the career progression can I have in this company? Can I be part of the capital, you know, or can I be an associate at some point?
Yeah. No, it was for you. I think it's a very good point.
So this type of question, how am I going to work alone in a team? It's all, can I move abroad? All these questions will be important.
Yeah.
So I could jump on this because,
yes.
You know, I face as entrepreneur, this kind of questions, even for young generation, but also for senior associate. Salary is a key for junior. Because, you know, when they compare your salary as a startup, you cannot offer to a junior candidate the same salary as Google. Impossible. Okay? So that's the game. So we cannot compete in terms of salary. So we try to beat on the image on what we can propose on top of the salary, which is a ridiculous salary, I will say, compared to Google. We propose equity plan, ESOP, you know, stock options. That maybe Google offer also and Apple offer also. But most of the Swiss company, bank, for example, they will not offer shares to young employee. We offer shares because if they succeed with us. So this is one argument we use, ESOP, stock option plan. The second argument, I agree, is the culture and the value of the company. So what we do as a company to reduce, for example, carbon footprint. I got some candidate asking this question at the first interview.
Oh, really?
Really. And I told them we have 0 paper. In the company, it's true, we don't print anything. No paper. It's a full 0 paper company. We use bike when we can. We have train. We don't use car and so on. Even if we have car, I have car, but EV car, we can charge at the office. So this was a question from a candidate. And he told me it's mandatory that you have this. Otherwise, I will not join. So I was surprised. And then the second request we got, and it's coming more and more, is social impact. We work in cybersecurity, right? We are an encryption company. So we do privacy for company, for corporate, but also for individual. Question I got from candidate, are you working for the defense sector? Are you providing your technology to defense, army, and so on? Because I don't want to work for defense and do bad things for your citizen. These kind of questions. I have to disclose that we don't work for defense because we don't work for defense because of value of the company. Myself, I'm against war, I'm against, arming people and so on. So I have to disclose that to candidate. And I was surprised with these generations. They ask questions really direct, without having, to be fear to lose the job. They don't care. They really care about the value. They want to be aligned with the corporate.
Yeah, I can understand because in the encryption sector, we have a real story in Switzerland. So, yeah. Would you want to add something in this topic, please, Anastasia?
I think it's very well covered.
I just wanted to add as well for small companies, what could be interesting it's visibility you can give candidates, because if your company has a very good reputation, has a great network, the fact that candidate works for you for 2 or 3 years, it's important in their career and can bring them to something else. So for junior, for example, who does not have experience, working in a company that is innovative brings important things, and have a great reputation in the region can be another argument that you could use.
Concerning the recruitment itself, as I said, we face competition and candidate. Maybe we do a lot of marketing. So we are here for EPFL. We go to conference. We are here, I'm here today also maybe to recruit new talent. I hope there is some people here that I can get
open to work.
open to work. I will choose them anyway. But the marketing for the brand reputation is the key. At the beginning, when I start the company, I don't care about the brands. I care about the tech. 2 years after, I say, oh, my company, I was not able to recruit top talent because of the brand. So I get coaching about how to improve the brands. Even from the Trust Valley, advice from Trust Valley about coaching, how to make your brand knowable by candidate. Conference, going to see student, inviting student, exchange with them. My son is at EPFL, so I try to get from him what the student is looking for. I discuss with professor at HSO Vallis. I recruit in my team a new professor which is joining the cryptography team, because we need to know how people behave and think about companies. And when we receive CVs, for example, we are impressed about the CVs. They are amazing. And I was, wow, I want these people. But when you go to interview, because now we need to speak about the CVs against the interview. Yes, most of the CVs are generated by AI today. So they are perfect.
Yes, it's a perfect time to jump in the AI part on how we can hire right now with AI tools. And I'm very happy because there is a big debate, I have to say to you, our audience, that during the preparation of the panel. And yes, let's go and try to explain what is going on with this kind of new tools, please.
So I have to say, when we prepared this interview, I was super happy. I never met Najib before, but he shook me a little bit by saying recruiters will be dead, something like that, in a few years' time. So I was like sweating and say, okay, no, I need to reinvent myself. But I convinced them that for me, recruiters will be still here in 20 years' time. Why? Because AI for me is a beautiful tool. It's amazing. And I'm super interested, super curious. We've discussed that before on how we can work with AI. For me, it's super tool to make the work of the recruiter better. But at the end of the day, we are human before human. I mean, it's human connection. And I hope we won't lose that, because as a human, you can detect things that a robot and AI cannot. And I was thinking about this coming to this meeting today, and I thought, as a headhunter, my added value is my network, is how I interact with people, I create relationship with people, and an AI can sort you a list of 300 names, but it doesn't have this interaction, it doesn't have the little stories I have about people. But happy to learn more about that.
Yeah, it's funny because exactly when we prepare, she was shocked about my argument, but I explained after why. I didn't know, but my first company was headhunting on the financial. I created a company in 2018 to chase quantitative finance, because I used to work for quantitative finance when I was out of school. So quant are very top talent in London, for example. They have the highest salary, and it's very difficult to attract them. My first company was to connect these people to big bank, Merrill Lynch, Lehman Brothers, Deutsche Bank, and so on. My first company was headhunting. I do that in my second job. I have that activities as a second job. And I agree with you, to recruit these guys or this kind of people, it was really a relationship. You have to call them, you have to explain them, you have to create a connection, because they don't look for job, They know they can have any job in very few seconds. So you have to create a relationship with them. This was in 2007, not 2018, 2007. Then, the crisis, Lehman Brothers, Merrill Lynch disappears. My company crashed because no more bank were recruiting. Then I stopped that. A few years later, I start to say, okay, I will use headhunting for my company. So I did that. So I create advertisement for having a headhunting service for Duo-Key. And I figure out it does not work for two reasons. The first reason is as a startup, a scale-up, we need to go fast. So the time you create this relationship is too long for us. For example, the timeline when you first call and get the proposal and sign is 3 months, 4 months. Is too much. Me, I would like to have a candidate on Monday, he sign on Friday. That's the delay I would like to have. Imagine I have to recruit, I mentioned to Nathalie, 100 people this year. 100 people. 100 people in 1 year, in 6 months now, or 7 months is quite impossible with the old way. The way where you have to connect the person, interest them, create a relationship. It does not scale at all. So we use AI for that. And how we use AI? First, to screen the CVs. We receive 150 applicants for one job offer per week. You think I have time to read 150 CVs per week? Impossible. I tried the first week. I did 19 CVs. 19 CVs for a week. So really fast, I jumped to the AI and put some, one engineer in my team is automating the screening of CVs automatically. So I just have to shortlist and interview them automatically. Before we doing the interview with HR, which take too much time because HR were asking hobbies, what do you like, what do you don't like? Too much time. Now we do tech interview in 30 minutes. Fail fast and hire fast. That's the techniques. But after the exchange, I think, Nathalie, you give me an advice and I would like you to share the advice you give me to the audience.
No, I said, this is fine and I'm dreaming about knowing more about this tool of screening people. But the problem is for someone who doesn't have the right CV, for someone who is a bit different, you lose talent. I mean, they're not coming into the mass, and that's talent that you cannot have in your talent pool. So I think it's great, but to keep open and have, I think the best way is to find a solution between the old way and the new way and try to find the best talent. Because when you're doing that, you miss the soft skills as well. So if you hire for fire, that's not the ideal, right? I mean, you lose money, right? So it's maybe better to take a bit more time and adjust a little bit between new and old, right?
I think you have to talk really after the talk. Yeah. Definitely. It's really a great meet.
Actually fascinating. I was very curious to listen to you. And I agree on both parts. First, particularly since we are now in cybersecurity, there are so many people who follow non-linear paths and they do much more like hands-on projects, and it's difficult to capture. It's not like certificate. Yes, there are some masters which shows that you have a qualification, but it's very non-linear. It's very difficult to capture automatically. I understand the challenge of like automating things. And I think as anything with AI, it should be done in a very careful way. I think many people know, but those who don't know, there was a huge scandal in Amazon in 2018 when they were screening CVs because they have a lot of applications for one position. But since before AI very rarely saw women applications, they just assumed that women are actually less qualified for a job. And that was a huge scandal in Amazon. And since we're talking about inclusion, I thought that everybody should know about this example. So yeah, I think AI for hiring should be used very carefully and understanding what will be the position.
I agree. After exchanging with Nathalie, just to mention, it's not, I have a business to run, right? I have objectives. I cannot afford, as you mentioned, to hire someone I fire in a week or in a month, because then we lose money, we lose time. We try to include the soft skills part at the end of the process to be sure that we recruit someone that is matching the value, matching the ethics of the company. The way we have made the interview is now to be automated as much as we can. But I agree that with that process, we can lose talent. But as a company, as a startup, we cannot afford to wait this cycle. So I don't know how AI will improve. I'm following startup around HR with AI. One I think will be my future recruiter. All of you have been following the wave of agentic AI, about autonomous agent or autonomous AI. I'm looking for doing an interview with digital human, like recruiter I can scale in any country, speaking the language, with the screening interview live and detecting the behavior of the candidate. So, for example, when I interview a candidate in a tech with an exercise, they hide the camera. Now we allow them to put the camera. It's mandatory to see the face. Because at the beginning, when we start the interview, the candidate has another PC with ChatGPT. So when we ask question, he was asking the question to ChatGPT and then he replied. So then we ask the camera. Okay, put the camera. We look for the eye and we see the eye, moving like this. Then we figure out that the candidate was continuing to use ChatGPT to answer question. So okay, now we do screen sharing. Share your screen, look your screen, and the exercise will be here. You know what they do? They use a tool that is able to hide so they get the questions, the tool will automatically extract the question and put an overlay that we cannot see on the screen. And he can answer the question. So we say, okay, the guy are smart. They find the always solution to bypass the ticket. So what is the future for us? If the guy is really smart and use that tool and he can answer all your tech questions, coding questions, because the AI will answer in a few seconds. So now we go to coding exercise. You see, okay, go to the office and code because you do not trust your PC. We cannot, so we have challenge. And today I have no solution. So if someone has a solution, I'm happy to hear.
This is really things that we see right now in the evolution of job, and not only on jobs, but also with recruitment and all the tools. And what do you think about that, Nathalie? What do you see about the process and what is going on with recruitment and for you, Anastasia? How do you feel that as a young entrepreneur, young student? Also, right now you are at the beginning of your career, so yeah.
You mean in terms of companies? Or?
No, not on terms of companies. It's really about the process to use some AI tools and how today you feel that. We had this discussion with Najib, and this is the evolution to recruit. And I think before COVID, it was mandatory to see the people on site. Mm-hmm. Right now, all the people have interview online and so on. How do you see this change?
I'm an old-fashioned. I'm sorry. No, I love AI. I use it, as I've mentioned, for administrative tasks, to help me to get faster, better, to ask questions. But when I have to represent a candidate to my client, I can have a phone interview, a video conference, a video Zoom with a person, the first 20 minutes to get to know the person, but then to get the real feel, to dig on the question, to ask the question, that we want some answer, I need to meet the person live. And that's why a company pays headhunters a lot of money, is not to have video Zoom. I mean, they want us to do the job face to face.
I have to say that when I recruit, I have to recruit for the Trust Valley and so on. I really need to feel the person, to feel if I am okay to work with this person, to feel if I can support this person to arrive in the team, and to be sure that this person can work with all my team, because it's very important to have that. And one of my constant is really that with new tools, AI new tools, what we see, it's some new way of work. I have a story about that. I hired a few months ago a new person, and he said to me after 2 weeks, I have to say that the program manager here is very old-fashioned. So, and she's really not an old-fashioned woman. So this is really that. This is two way of work. Do you see that also in your work?
Like, actually, I was nodding when you were talking. So I was on the other side of the fence, because I was actually interviewed, and I cannot speak for all the companies, but at least like IBM, Microsoft, Oracle, also research institutions. I noticed that people really want to see you in person. As you said, the question is, will you actually get along with all the people? So I was once in one company, and actually it was 7 people asking me questions at the same time. And it was also my research supervisor who gave me a life advice. He told me that you will sell your qualification, but it also matters a lot what kind of person you are. And once again, from my experience, a bit research oriented, but also IT, companies do invest, big companies, they have money to invest into internships. So it's much easier to hire a lot of interns. And then after 3 months, it's the best kind of interview you can have. It's impossible to fool with AI. You actually see how the person works. And I think since you hired people in the university for whatever projects, I think it's also the best interview.
Just want to add something about the generation coming out of school now, especially software engineers or cybersecurity specialists in the tech sector. So I travel a lot in the Silicon Valley. I do every 3 months because I have a lot of meetings there. I see what's happening there in terms of tech, in terms of recruitment, in terms of talent. And the wave will come to Europe. Which wave I mentioned is the wave of agentic AI. It's coming. We look on TV, some prototypes, some stuff. In the US, I can tell you it's already start. People are fired because we don't need them anymore. I take example of a company called ServiceNow. ServiceNow is the support, IT support. They have automated much as they can, and now they offer to large company service desk support as AI. You don't need to hire a team of service, call center support. They have automated that automatically. It will come here. Don't worry, it will come. It's a question of time. So I'm wondering, I'm still, my son is finishing EPFL in 2 years. You know what I told to my son? I tell you, stop the cybersecurity and software track. Go to another track. Because you will have no job in 2 years.
Yeah, definitely. In 2025, this is the new world of the deal, or not the trust. Huh? So I think it's interesting to go further with AI ethics and data privacy in the talent management, because another concern that I have with my team on other team, it's difficult to explain to the people who use AI. They go faster, better, sometimes better, and it's very important to take the time also to understand what they are doing, where they are putting the data, in which kind of tools. You have, Najib, I think, an example on that with the doctor. Yeah.
Because hopefully it's not my doctor. Hopefully I was lucky, but he's a friend of mine. We're discussing about this AI revolution. And he said, I use AI every day. How you use it? Sometimes I get, the blood, the blood diagnostic, right? He put the PDF into ChatGPT and asked for his advice. He did that. I said, it works well. He get the same answer that I have. I just want to see if he's able to diagnostic the same as I have. I say, are you aware when you do that all the personal data of your patient is stored in US? I don't know. I was not. You think it was local to his machine?
Yes, this is
a big concern for companies at the moment. When I talk with the HR department about using an AI for recruiting, and not the doctor thing, but where the information go, what the employee do with AI, and I think ChatGPT or what they have in the company. And I think I was talking with a group talent acquisition manager at the CERN, for example, who said that they have a commission now who invest in trying to find the best solution to be ethics and do the right thing. And a lot of my clients are on the same boat at the moment. So they are interested in this area, AI, but they scared as well about where it will go and how employee will use it.
Yes, definitely. And do you use AI tools?
Yeah,
Yes?
I do. And
which kind? Yeah.
Oh my God. Honestly, for me, the most useful one is writing in French. Because, that's difficult.
Don't be shy, huh?
And then my colleagues give me compliments that I write so well, and I'm like, not really me. But actually, I think it was open, we opened slightly a door, which probably is not the topic of today, but extremely important, is that so many people do not really know how to use AI safely. For example, you mentioned agentic AIs, so the ones which can access to your email, to your calendar, to your documents. And since the topic of my research is basically AI safety, I know how extremely dangerous it is, how vulnerable it makes all the systems we have. And since we're in cybersecurity, maybe many people in the room know how many doors for other side it opens, and how many actually employers should be aware about these things, and not even employers starting from the young age. So, yeah, it's a small comment, probably another panel discussion.
Yes, I think it's very important.
Just to highlight the privacy issue on AI, because we are a company focusing on privacy, mostly on enterprise privacy document, but we are now pivoting and adding a new value proposition about confidential AI. Because it's a topic also for us, we are doing IP, patent. I don't want my IP going to ChatGPT, OpenAI, whatever, because I have also IP to protect. There is solution going, right now on research. For example, you mentioned the research. I'm looking, to put a patent. So the thing you should not do is do the patent with AI, because at the time you put the thing on OpenAI, whatever, they will deposit a patent on before you.
Maybe not with Mistral. No, well, we had the founder, I think, 3 weeks ago here.
Yeah.
And,
they run on Amazon, like, no, but the interesting thing is about privacy. There is challenges to address now with AI. So how you address privacy with AI, we have not the answer yet. Now it will come. There is the enterprise bank, they block AI. I told them it's useless because you people go home. They will do the chat GPT at home. They will take a pictures of your slide and ask the GPT to do another slide and so on. So for me, company needs to wake up and say, hey, AI is there. We need to use it. We need to use it in safety manner. We need to use it with ethical manner also, not to copy copyright and so on. So for me, it's time to check the company usage, and it's going fast. 3 weeks before, we were asking, hey, I would like to do that automatically. Now we can do it. And 3 weeks before, it was very difficult to do it. But some companies show that it's possible. Then you say, hey, it's there. So to be competitive, and this is why a startup, we have faster adoption rate than big corporations. And this is what I like. My job is innovation. We adapt. We see that it's there. We focus on new product. We launch a new product. Next week, I will be at NVIDIA conference with all the NVIDIA team launching a new product with them. And this discussion happened in February, and now we are in March. It's there. So this is how we pivot. You need to wake up and say, hey, it's there. We need to go fast. And for that, again, we need to recruit fast. And people at TPFL, when I ask my son, show me your course. What do you learn? You learn Java? You learn, this is useless. You don't need to learn coding now. You need to learn how copyright and machine learning works.
Yeah, I think about this point, Najib, academics have really a role to play. So for you, Anastasia, how do you see that point? And right now, academics are not used to train that. For you, what are the best way of capturing talent before they even enter the job market?
Thank you. Actually, I'm representing here also Lynn Pirek, who is the director of the institute at HSSO Valais, but unfortunately she didn't join. And I think it was twofold question. First, things move so fast. Yes. What do we actually learn? And how do we proceed in universities? And I have experience of 3 institutions. Now I'm at Cybersecurity. Before I was at EPFL, and before I was doing bachelor in Ukraine. And in all 3, I was very happy to see a lot of industrial influence. And I think this is a key. More there is collaboration, more there is people who actually come with their industrial and maybe startup feeling. For example, if a teachers they have this startup feeling, both at HOS and EPFL, they do teach much more faster things which are actually important, like last news and so on. That's the first thing. So in institutions, this quick adoption should be there. A lot of practical projects should be there because, for example, we don't learn cybersecurity or AI without making our hands dirty. So that's why, once again, internships, collaboration with companies. And you asked how do we capture people, how do we capture talents even before they
enter the job market. Mm-hmm.
So once again, internships and also this kind of conferences and competition, which will be in the end of this conference, Capture the Flag. I think main organizer of this event, Orange Cyber Defense. Yes. I think that's how they actually recruit their talents, by getting who were those people who won in these practical competitions.
Okay, thank you. So the time is flying. I propose to you to make a round of conclusion. So first of you, Natalie, please.
Oh, yeah. I would say stay open, curious, discover, use the tools that we have now, but be ethics and go further than just a facility of using something. Ask yourself the right question. If you are hiring, go outside of what you think is good. There are talents everywhere that needs to be found. So dig a little bit more. And if you're looking for a job, just be open as well to maybe other industries, other companies, people. Yeah. So curiosity, openness, and be safe. Yeah, don't just accept what's going on. Just ask yourself the right question.
Thank you.
As a short conclusion, I think is especially for young generation and also people who used to do the normal, let's say, daily job, is think about the tools today. Don't consume, but create. That means don't be a consumer of these tools. Try to understand how this tool works and create new things. Because normally your productivity, your creativity will improve. So don't be a single consumer like we do for TikTok and so on. Create stuff, innovate, make it faster, be entrepreneur. That's the advice I give to all of you, all the audience, especially young students, because I think the revolution started already. They need to think what will be their futures now. Not going to the job market and say what I'm going to do. They need to create and be an entrepreneur. I think the new company in the next 5 years will be one-man company with 2 people, or maybe 2 people running a full company. I mentioned that to you before, and it's already the case. If you go to Silicon Valley, we can run a company that makes 10 million annual revenue with 2 people, just because they are powered by AI. So think about that. Be creative. When you go to job, maybe you will not find a job. Maybe you create your own job. You create your own company. This is what I told my 2 sons. I have one which is in this space. So he don't need me as an employer because he worked for me, but he said I can create my own stuff. And the second is still thinking what he's going to do. So my advice is now, think now. It's finished the classical path. You have EPFL, you find a job. No, it's not gonna work. Create your own job.
And Anastasia, what are your key takeaways?
Very, very good point. So if you are learn actively, make your hands dirty. If you are hiring, since I'm a student, reach to the universities, give projects, invest your money into making internships for these young talents. And whoever you are, I'm a bit suspicious about two-man companies because I know how much AI is vulnerable. So whoever you are, be very careful with AI. It has a lot of vulnerabilities.
Thank you so much, Anastasia, Natalie, and Najib. It was really great to share the stage with you. And we will continue the story just after with cyber entrepreneur on how to become a cyber entrepreneur. So stay with us. Thank you very much. Do you have the time for a question? Yes. One or two? Do you have, yes, question?
Hi, Johnny Gasser. I have one question. I think that the AI in the recruiting process was great until the candidate had access. Because now you will recruit the one that has the algorithm the most close to your algorithm. Because cover letters as CV are created by GenAI. So, what's the point you use GenAI?
For filtering the CVs?
Yes.
Yeah. So exactly. It's the point is the candidates are smarter than we are smart. So they're already more advanced than us, doing CVs that are high quality, with a very nice LinkedIn profile. GitHub, you know what they do today? I forgot to mention, because we look their personal Git repository. They create fake code. When I say fake code, it's repository that has been created maybe a few months before. So we go further than the CVs. What we do, we screen everything we find on the candidate, including the GitHub code. So if he said, I'm coding, I'm doing that, we will also look their code, quality code check, and discover that this candidate is a fake CV or fake developers. We also look the Stack Overflow. If he mentioned he's a good contributor to this, we look that also automatically. So if he's doing a fake CV with a fake repo, then he will be flagged as a, let's say, fake candidate. So we also have the tools to discover that and discover that you use an AI to make a fake profile. So we also try to raise the bar, to make it more complex for candidate. Like you mentioned, professor, my co-founder is a professor. He done exam to student. They can do at home, right? The kind of exam he's doing, he first give the exam to the AI, Claude, OpenAI, and so on. He test it, get the answers, make it very difficult for AI to get the answers and send that to candidate. And he told me after he's doing that, the mark has been very bad because most of the candidates go to the trap. They think AI will answer correctly, but it's not. So we do the same with candidate.
Yeah, I think that that's nice what you're telling here. But for me, success factors is I will have this in 5 or 10 years.
Yes. It's a race, huh? It's not finished.
But most of the companies, at least the big multinational, are using success factors.
Yes.
In my understanding.
Yeah, but it changed, huh? It's a race, huh? You have something, maybe other question there?
Thank you very much for this great discussion. My name is Daniel Anastasia. I have a question for you, Nabi. What you mentioned is the dynamics of the West Coast, right? California, startup, etc. The way that they proceed. But how do you see that from a cultural point of view, this change in Switzerland? So due to the economy that's a bit different.
Yeah.
And the culture as well.
Exact. So I mentioned that what you see in US now will not happen now in Switzerland or Europe. It's a wave, like a wave that will come smoothly to Switzerland. But it's not be a disaster like we have in West Coast. It's just a way people, for example, the recruiting with AI today, I don't know any Swiss company using all automated stuff. They use the classical way as of today. Because they recruit 1 job, 2 job. They don't scale like 200 people like a startup. When we raise money, the money you raise is to hire people. So the things for me is the wave you see of firing people to replace with agentic will not come in Switzerland. If you look Switzerland today, we are not still the top level of digital stuff. If you look at e-government services, we are still far away from having a digital ID, everything online. You still go to do some paperwork, compared to Dubai, compared to Estonia, of another country. It's all digital. So we have times here. But Switzerland, to be competitive, they need to adopt technology. So we have, the biotech, which is good, but biotech with AI, if you don't use it in Switzerland, the big pharma group in US, they will be more competitive than Switzerland. So for me, it's a question of competitiveness and adoption. So let's see what's gonna happen in cybersecurity, because cybersecurity today is not Swiss, is worldwide. So expert, most of the company, they use a SOC, for example. Where is the SOC? There is few SOC, Swiss operation centers. Most of them are outside Switzerland. Most of them. So you see already, big SOC center going outside in Mauritius. I have a company in Mauritius. There is Accenture, Orange Business Services. They run the SOC service in Mauritius. You see?
In Switzerland, we have a lot of SOCs.
Swiss SOC?
Yeah.
With team based in Switzerland?
Yeah.
Compared to Europe?
LCAS, Swisscom, there is as well Teractive now. Well, the market is probably different, the size.
Yeah, when I say SOC is really, if you look the global space in Europe, you take the big company in Europe, ask them where the SOC run, it doesn't run in the local country. Most of them.
Another question? Yes.
Yeah, just coming back to this bias that Anastasia also mentioned. So for those who do actually recruiting using AI, do you have some measures in place to make sure that these biases don't make it so that you only hire people whom the AI thinks are good, but that you also hire people who will actually be good for your company?
That's a good point about what you said, inclusion. First, we don't use any AI that is not managed by us. That means we don't use ChatGPT, Cloud AI, whatever SaaS services, because by design we don't trust. If you have the same question to Claude, OpenAI, DeepSeek, whatever, you don't have the same answer. First.
So again, thank you. You want to add something?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that bias in the recruitment process start from the job description. How you write your job description will tell a lot about the candidate that you will attract. So if you want first to attract diversity, you should start there, I think.
Thank you so much.
That's a good answer. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Nathalie, Najib, and Anastasia. Great to have you.